All right, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, August 28th. I'm John Weigell with Juliet, Bennett, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Crowds are lining up at botanical gardens to smell corpse flowers that reek, while Malaysia's Durian BB has turned the world's stinkiest fruit into a $10 million tourism empire, complete with theme parks and dessert shops. So let's break down the business of durian and other smelly things. We'll get to all that and the biggest headlines in business and tech right after this. HubSpot helped Tumblr solve a big problem. They needed to move fast to produce trending content, but their marketing team was stuck waiting on engineers to code every single email campaign. Now they use HubSpot's customer platform to email real-time, trending content to millions of users in just seconds. The impact? 3 times more engagement and double the content creation. Want to move fast like Tumblr? Visit HubSpot.com. Okay, starting us off today, I may have done a whole story about this yesterday, but Cracker Barrel has now decided, after much criticism, to change back its logo once again to feature the old-timer Uncle Herschel. That was a bit short-lived over there. Next, Mark Zuckerberg gave his Palo Alto neighbors noise-canceling headphones because the construction on his 11 homes apparently never stops. Juliet, you looked into this. Can you give me more information on Mark Zuckerberg handing out some headphones to his neighbors?
Yeah, apparently Mark has something of a Winchester mystery compound going on. If you're familiar with the Winchester Mystery House, you know it is a house that the woman who owned it supposedly never stopped building, which was probably really irritating to her neighbors too, if they were close enough to hear it. Mark's got 11 houses at least in Palo Alto that he just kind of bought, and he's been adding to them. He had at one point a private school for his children and some other children. He has a pickleball court, a big, nice, fancy pool. He put in 7,000 square feet of basement, which apparently his neighbors think is some sort of like underground bunker. But yeah, the construction just never stops. There's construction, there's parties, there's a security because this is Mark Zuckerberg. So there's, patrol cars, there's surveillance cameras. It's just kind of like, what the hell? Like the worst neighbor of all time has moved in. And I guess he gave them noise canceling headphones. In the past, he's given them, Krispy Kreme donuts. And I'm just saying, Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest men in the world, that's not enough. That's not enough, Mark.
The noise-canceling headphones might be fine, but only Krispy Kreme donuts? Come on, man.
I live across the street from a seismic retrofit because I live in California, and that's important here. And it's loud, and I have noise-canceling headphones. And here is what is irritating about it is having to always wear them.
Yeah, the whole not being able to sleep thing might be a problem.
There are zoning regulations, so they can't do it at night. They don't do it on the weekends. The weekend is when the leaf blower guy comes and chases the solitary leaf around in the parking lot behind my house for 4 hours. And the thing about the headphones is it doesn't matter how nice they are. It is annoying to have to wear them literally all day or listen to jackhammers. So I don't think it's enough. I think he needs to give them money.
He could give them money, and knowing him, could construct a giant soundproof bubble around his 11 homes.
Oh, yeah. Put it in a dome.
Put it in a dome.
Its own biosphere.
The CEOs love domes. Just build a dome.
Be his own personal metaverse in real life.
Exactly. From there, we move to China. China's Rokid introduced a new contender for, we mentioned them just a second ago, Meta's RayBan AR eyewear crown. Its latest smart glasses, called Rokid glasses, have a powerful display in each eye that can be used for navigation, real-time translation, recording, and one particularly exciting feature is the teleprompter function that scrolls text and can save you from ever having to relay another unscripted thought in your entire life. The specs are expected to retail at $599. Not a bad price, but expected is the operative word there. From there, we go to more AI. Anthropic reached a preliminary settlement on a class action lawsuit from several authors who alleged it trained its models on their work. This is a problem that Perplexity is also facing right now with a couple editorial companies in Japan. While a judge ruled that Anthropic's use of the books fell under fair use, it may have acquired them via piracy, potentially amounting to over $1 trillion in penalties. Let's see what happens there. And finally, here in some car news, Hyundai is partnering with a startup, Uncaged Innovations, on a plant-based leather for its vehicles. Per TechCrunch, the materials are made from grains and can look, feel, and even smell like the real thing. Uncaged has also partnered with Jaguar and Land Rover, and its faux leathers are already in use in handbags and watch bands. And for more updates like that, you can subscribe to the show. We'll have more for you tomorrow. But right now, we're talking about the business of smelly things. Juliet, can you expand on this business of smells that we're seeing right now?
Yes, I was really excited to see an article in CNN Business about durian fruit being a very popular tourist draw, which reminded me of something that happens here where I live every year. I live in Pasadena, California, and that means I live close to San Marino, where the Huntington is. The Huntington is a library, an art museum, a botanical garden. And I know two things about the Huntington. One, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful place to go hang out. It's a great date spot. The second thing is it is never more popular than when its corpse flower blooms.
Interesting.
It is like an annual event.
Okay.
Now, a corpse flower, if you're not familiar with them, they're really weird looking. They are very large. They kind of look like you know how sometimes if you go to like Disneyland and you go to the Star Wars part and they've like picked out all these plants to sort of, you're in an alien world now. A corpse flower would fit.
Look like space plants of sorts. Yeah.
Corpse flower would fit right in. And they only bloom once every few years, and they only bloom for one day at a time during that cycle. And when they bloom, they smell so bad. Apparently, they smell like decay.
Wow.
Which in the animal world is fine because that attracts, I guess the pollinators that it needs or whatever. The Huntington has managed to acquire over 40 of them. So they've always got a bloom in the works. There's always something blooming. They've been able to pollinate them. And every year on social media, on the Huntington's Instagram, it's like a countdown to when their stinky flower is going to bloom. And people like sit and wait and they're like, I got to go see the corpse flower on the day that it blooms. And it's like a big annual event that I always miss for some reason. Like I'm always at work and it's such a short window and then it's over. It's real unfortunate.
Note to self though, best place to bury a body if I'm looking to get rid of one in the LA area because the smell will just match. That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean for one day and then they're going to be like, this is a little weird. This is
this is continuing. But that's crazy.
And of course, the point of the corpse flower smell is that it attracts insects that eat carrion or, things that are decaying. And then once the bloom is done, then those insects are going to go find the body you buried and then it's all over for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is an interesting trend of this smelly flower. I like where this thought process started with durian, because durian, a very popular fruit in Asia, most notably Southeast Asia. I've had it a couple times over there. It smells just awful, but it tastes pretty good in a lot of ways. Talk to me about this company, Durian BB, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, that's doing something with durian.
Yeah, I love this story. So durian, of course, is a very polarizing fruit. It smells horrible, but it tastes, in my opinion, great. I love durian in cakes and ice creams.
Tastes good.
I've had it before. I think it's a real fun fruit. Durian BB is a farm. And as I think we all know, farmers are having kind of a tough time right now. There's, competing operations, but then there's also just a lot of factors that are beyond their control, like the weather. We've talked a lot about coffee and chocolate and all of these industries where inclement weather and tariffs and all of these different things are impacting how they can make money, what the size of their crop yield is. With Durian BB, they are turning what could essentially just be a durian business into like a whole immersive theme park world based around this fruit, which I think has a broad appeal because I think people are really curious about it because it smells so bad and yet tastes so good. Durian BB has a couple operations going. There's Durian BB Park where you can sample the various varietals that they grow. Apparently employees have to wear gloves on their hands. Otherwise they will go home smelling like durian, which no one likes.
Yes.
Durian BB World has a dessert shop where you can play games and take classes. And then Durian BB Academy is sort of in a soft launch, but it's a 30-acre farm that also has games and classes. And the classes are for adults and children. So there's just a lot that people can do if they want to go to one of these parks. And according to Adrian Choi, who of course is the chief dreamer, you couldn't have a title like CEO. You have to be chief dreamer. It's a way to diversify revenue. And I guess they see about 400,000 to 500,000 visitors per year and apparently made 10 million in revenue in 2024. Wow. A lot of that being souvenirs. So they've got, durian merchandise. Durian, if you've never seen it, it's like a spiky on the outside and soft on the inside. So they have like these cute little toys that you can buy. And, I guess there's apparently a broad spectrum of places you can go if you're durian curious across Malaysia. Tourism Malaysia released a 2024-2025 publication with 62 different durian experiences across 12 states, simple tastings all the way to multi-day tours where you glamp on a farm and everything durian. And it estimated it would bring in about $420,000 during that period.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's really a craze. I think it's a great way, though, for farms, as you mentioned, to kind of expand their business. And since this fruit is really blowing up on social media, why not attract people to it for what it is? You mentioned in your article that it's similar to like the pumpkin patch here in the US, where like people go to the pumpkin patch and, you know, there's like an apple cider place where you like get some apple cider. There's like a corn maze. You have all this stuff already for you. And I think they've just really leaned into that with the durian, just making these theme parks.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, at The Hustle, we did a big story on the economics of pumpkin patches in 2021. And the people I talked to for that story had, you know, a lot of the same concerns. It's like, you know, everybody's doing the pumpkin thing at that exact same time of year. And then, of course, it can be hard to grow a pumpkin. If it's too wet, that's a big problem. If it's too dry, that's a problem. Apparently, it can rain so much that all your pumpkins sweep away in what is known as a pumpkin flood, which is probably really cool to see, but horrible for the farmers. There's a lot that goes into growing a pumpkin and getting a good yield, but another revenue stream is to have these autumnal experiences that every influencer loves, where you've got your cider and your pumpkin latte and your photo ops and your corn maze and your, you know, whatever. And that was like a huge revenue stream for them, was just being this family friendly or couples activity that people love to do year after year after year. So it's not so dissimilar. It's just so interesting, I think, because the durian is such a curious fruit. It just has this quality about it where it's like, it smells so bad. It's been compared to vomit, to gym socks, to a sewer, and yet is popular when you put it in a cake or a custard or all sorts of other dishes.
Yeah, I think companies are investing more in these personalized experiences for deeply polarizing but niche things like the durian. And it makes sense because the people that love it are really, really passionate about it. And the people that don't love it are very, very passionate about not liking it. So you definitely have your audience kind of already baked in.
I actually went to a museum that was a little controversial, but I did enjoy it for the most part. It was called the Disgusting Food Museum. Oh. It was a pop-up here in Los Angeles, but it's been shown around the world. So it originated in Sweden, and it showcased all of these foods from around the world that other cultures would find disgusting. And so you might have a really stinky cheese from France or something that other people would be like, oh, this is too much.
A classic.
I sampled a lot of things. Durian was one of them. I actually like the way durian tastes. Some of the things that I ate there that I did not enjoy, I did not enjoy fermented shark from Iceland.
Ooh. Oh, interesting.
I would not try that again. I did not like the salty black licorice, which was sort of like a Nordic thing. I did not like that at all. But I did kind of enjoy some of the cheeses, even though they were very smelly. And I like durian, as I said. What was interesting to me about it was it did receive a lot of backlash because people were like, well, isn't it racist to call another culture's food disgusting? And, you know, it was a big debate over whether or not that was okay. Although I will say that it did represent a lot of different cultures. It wasn't just like, oh, we're really nailing this one part of the world. It was every culture. Yeah. And what was interesting to me, and I would fully agree with this, is there were some foods from the United States that other people thought were absolutely repulsive, and they included things like Pop-Tarts.
Oh my God, there's so many US foods that are absolutely gross. Like I remember this like Jell-O cake thing that was like a big thing in like the 1950s or 60s, and that just absolutely disgusting. Like there's nothing good about that.
Oh yeah. My friends had a themed party because they found a Jell-O mold in the shape of a fish.
Oh my God.
And everybody had to bring something. And some of the foods were surprisingly edible. But then one was like a tuna Jell-O thing that like after 15 minutes out of the fridge and it started to melt, it was like, put this back in the, like banish this. My friend made a Thanksgiving dinner. He suspended in Jell-O like an aspic, which was not the worst thing I've ever eaten, but also not the best. But it was just so interesting to me that for Americans, it's like, oh, stinky cheese, or like, you know, there's a lot of foods that involve bugs that we typically don't eat here.
Right.
But then another culture would be like, a Pop-Tart is so sugary and so overprocessed. It's not even food. This is repulsive, which as someone who grew up with like a family where they gave me Pop-Tarts for breakfast, I look back and I'm like, Why? Why would you do that to me? It is gross.
So durian isn't that bad, comparatively, maybe.
I would take a durian every morning for breakfast over a Pop-Tart any day of the week.
Crack that thing right open.
Yes.
Happy breakfast to you.
100%. And the thing about a durian is it may smell gross like it's rotting, but what is more disturbing is a Pop-Tart that no matter how long you have it, it never seems to rot. Why? That's wrong.
It's not food.
It's
not
wrong.
food. It's just not food. That's the problem.
Yes.
All right, and that'll do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We got a lot more business and tech coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at thehustledaily. We'll catch you later. Look, I'm going to be straight with you. Everybody's talking about AI, but most people are just playing around with ChatGPT instead of actually making money from it. That's why we dropped the ultimate crash course to create your own AI side hustle in 7 days. We're talking real frameworks and strategies from the pros like the founder of The Hustle, Sam Parr. It includes mini guides, templates, the whole 9 yards, stuff that takes years to figure out, condensed into 1 week. Stop what you're doing right now and grab it in the show notes. Your future self will thank you.